Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook of the same name. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have therapists in your area. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay, so, the Hoovers, the Hoovers, the Hoovers, the Hoovers, the Hoovers. So I have had a lot of people contact me saying that various family members, various exes, etc., friends, etc., have suddenly been doing the COVID Hoover, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago. So when a narcissist loses their supply, the question was, oh my God, what do we do? So when a narcissist loses their supply, they reach out, and sometimes they reach out to exes from 20 years ago, or they reach out to people they haven't spoken to in years because they're looking for supply. So recently what's been happening is the medical Hoover, the I've got COVID, you need to feel guilty, you need to contact me Hoover, only to call them and find out that no, they've not been to the hospital, no, they don't have COVID, no, they're fine. It was their excuse to guilt trip you, to hook you, to get you to call. So if you have gone no contact with family, friends, whoever, and they have been abusive and they are suddenly doing the whole, you need to call me, I'm sick, I'm dying, I'm this, I'm that, you do what you can live with. If you feel you need to call them, but I'm telling you right now, it's a COVID Hoover. It is. And even if it's not, even if they are sick, it's unlikely that whatever miraculous change will last. So as soon as they're out of danger, as soon as they're healthy again, they're going to go right back to their nasty ways. That's who they are. Remember the story of the scorpion and the toad. It's who they are. It's in their nature. So, but the nasty ones are the ones who are having other family members, flying monkeys, dun, 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 call and say, oh, your mother is sick, your father is sick, your brother is sick, your blah, blah, blah. You need to call them. You should feel so guilty, blah, 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 blah. And then you call, and then it turns out, no, they're fine. It was just a way to pull you back into the drama triangle, which is abusers always need to be the hero. Okay, they're the hero of the story. Because remember, every villain is always the hero of their own story. So they're the hero of the story. They need a victim, which is you, and they need a hero, victim, and a villain. So, or villain, you're either the villain or the victim, one of the two. You're usually the villain. So it's the hero, they're the hero, you're the villain, and somebody else is the victim. So, so they're drawing you into this drama triangle, drama. So what to do if you break contact or no contact, and you realize once you've broken no contact that, oh yeah, it was a game. It was a lie. They were actually fine. They're not dying. They're okay. Then you go back to no contact and you keep no contact. Dealing with the guilt. Write the guilt a letter. Tell the guilt to go sideways. Have a nice day, guilt. So any relationship that has fear, obligation, or guilt is not a healthy relationship. Only contact people if you want to. Now, if somebody calls you up and says, oh my God, so-and-so's got COVID and you need to call them, blah, 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 and you're feeling guilty because you have not contacted them and you feel you need to, well, then go ahead and do that. However, be prepared. 9 times out of 10, they're really not sick, or they have been sick and they're recovering and they're fine and they're using this as a way to gotcha. Does that make sense? So be very careful and be very wary of the COVID Hoover, which is so-and-so's dying. So triangulation of communication, right? So-and-so told me that such and such is dying and you need to call them because you're the son, you're the daughter-in-law, you're the son-in-law, you're the grandchild, you're the, whatever. So if that happens, if you do call, be aware it's a game. The person is not going to be permanently changed. It's not like they're suddenly going to have an epiphany moment. Oh my God, I should have had a V8. You know, I've been an asshole. I'm so sorry. And everything's going to be sunshine and roses and unicorn farts. That's not going to happen. They'll be nice for a certain amount of time until they know they're out of the woods. And then they're going to go right back to their old ways. That's what they do. So only contact them for you. If you need to feel like you've done something, called them, had closure, whatever you want to call it, there's no such thing as closure. I did a video on that a long time ago. But if you feel you need to call them, fine, call them. However, go in with your eyes open. Go in knowing that either they're really not sick, they're doing the whole I'm sick, I'm dying, and they're not, which they do that even when there is no pandemic going on. Trust me on that one. And be aware of who the flying monkeys are. Who are the ones that are saying you need to call, you need to call, you need to call? Those are flying monkeys. You might want to block them too. So anyway, that's just come up, and I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. I also wanted to answer questions that I did not get to. Some of them are actually on topic and some of them are not. So I think we can just save the not ones for the end of the question thing. So, okay, question. What if you really don't remember what was told to you by your mother? That's my biggest issue. Okay, so in Pete Walker's book, you know, it goes through all the stuff that we were told or maybe behaved with, etc. In Catherine Taylor's book, the Inner Child Workbook, it works like from the physical out. So The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk, who I just had a series session thing with him that he was doing a CEU. He was amazing. And Peter Levine. So both of them have written books on, you know, body memory. So if you cannot remember what was said, your body will remember. So perhaps it would be good to read The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk, anything by Peter Levine, and also Catherine Taylor, The Inner Child Workbook, Working from the Inside Out. So not everything is going to be cerebral. Not everything is going to be oh, yes, I remember this was said and this was done. Some of it's going to be like, I know something happened. I don't remember what happened. I need to work on this. So this is where EMDR is really good. This is also where EFT is really good. And I would read The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk. I never say his name right. Dear Lord. Anyway, Bessel just find him. He's good. The Body Keeps Score. Get it. Peter Levine, also another really good person to look up. So if you don't remember stuff, maybe work on it from the physical out as opposed to the cerebral in. Does that make sense? And you can do it either or both. So think about EMDR. And yes, you can do EMDR via telemedicine. So they have ways to do it, you know. I've got a client that is actually doing EMDR in conjunction with talk therapy, and her EMDR therapist has her put things on either side of the screen, and then she does the back and forth with the eyes as the therapist talks her through whatever they're working on. So it can be done. It's not the ideal situation, but it can be done. So there is that. Okay, so that's, and journal. How are you feeling? Where do you feel it? Where do you feel it in your body? That's what's important. It's like, what are you feeling? And then trust your gut. What is your gut telling you? What does your gut think happened? Not your head, not your heart, your gut. So that's my suggestion for that. Okay, narc mother, 2 long-time relationships with narcs. Most recently, one ended a year. Now I'm trying to find me, lost myself. How do I get over the whys of things that happen so I can move on? So I talked about this last week and how to find ourselves. And excuse me, no, I don't have COVID. I've got allergies and everything's blooming. Oh my God. It's like in Arizona, it's like all the little pollen's like, whee! Yeah. So anytime anybody sniffles or anything, everyone's like, where was I? Oh, right. So, last week I was talking about how to find yourself, and the week before that I was talking about nonsensical things that happen, such as the thing that happened in Nova Scotia, the shooting in Nova Scotia. When we are wronged, we will automatically start asking why, because it's in our nature. Like when we're little, when we're like 2 years old, oh my gosh, I remember one of my nieces, I think it was Kelly, why? To the point where I was like, ah! But that's what we do. So we want to know a reason. We want to know why. things are happening. The problem of it is that when we are dealing with somebody who is abusive, there is no answer to why. They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They are the big cray cray. And that's the answer. And it's also, we were groomed to be set up by the original wound to put up with abuse. So rather than why, I think how is a better question to ask. And when the whys pop up, you got to be like, thank you for your input. Shut the fuck up. Why? Because you say so. You're the boss of this. This is not the boss of you. You know what? There is no why, but there is a how. Let's work on that. Let's get the self-esteem workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. Let's get the inner child workbook by Catherine Taylor. Let's get the Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. Let's get, what's the other one? CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Let's go listen to some really good videos. You know, that's the way to start working on that. Also, part of the why is it's an injustice. We've been harmed. We've been harmed, and we want a reason for why we were harmed. And there is no reason. Healthy, normal people don't go around hurting other people. They just don't, you know. And so write an angry letter to both of these bozos or to whoever abused you. You know, you get it out. You get it out of your head. You get it onto paper. And then you find out what the softer emotion is underneath the anger. And it's usually hurt. It's usually the fear of being hurt. It's the fear of being hurt or it's being hurt. So do that. That's going to help you more than sitting there and driving yourself crazy with why. Okay. Okay, my son is in 8th grade and he's dealing with a lot of anxiety from school. Teachers are pressuring with test scores. He's in therapy and meds, but now has started, oh, I don't know what SH is. What does SH stand for? Oh, something. Oh, I don't know. What else can I do? So anxiety is fear and the pressure to be perfect, the pressure to be good enough. So I think working on self-esteem with him and working on coping skills for the anxiety is going to be your best bet. I don't know what SH is. I wish people would actually spell things out because I don't work with children, so I'm not sure what SH is. But so self-esteem and working on him with coping skills for his anxiety. So breathing, meditation, things that he can do with his hands when he gets nervous. So like a worry stone, or the Buddhist beads, you know, the Buddhist beads that you can, or a rosary, or, you know, something like that, that you can feel with your fingers and kind of breathe as you're fidgeting kind of thing. So learning to self-soothe, that's huge for children. I think that's huge for everybody. But learning how to self-soothe, learning how to breathe, learning how to recognize the thoughts that are creating the amygdala to react, right? And being able to go, okay, stand down, amygdala. This is just a thought. That's it. It's not real. It is just a thought. Learning to not live in the future. Learning to not catastrophize. Learning to be able to go, okay, I am not, thank you for your input, I am not going to live in a future that has not and probably will not happen. Piss off. You know, so you teach them to challenge the thoughts and replace them with, I'm living in the present. I'm not going to live in the future. I'm not, you know, and so here are some things I can do. I can breathe. I'm safe. I'm okay. Everything's fine. I can use my worry stone, or I can use my Buddhist beads, or I can use my rosary or whatever. And I'm safe and I'm okay and I'm breathing and I'm not living in the future. I'm going to live in the here and now. And that's the best way to help your child, is to give them coping skills and also find out what's going on. What are they afraid of? What's the fear? What's the anxiety based in? Are they afraid of being rejected? Are they afraid of not being good enough? Are they, you know, and you have to help them learn to live with good enough. And if you've got teachers that are teaching to the tests and wanting people to get perfect scores, you might need to have a little chat with that teacher. So, yeah, so that's my suggestion for that. It's harder for me to let go of things I can't control because of the anxiety. How do you practice that? So our brains are trained to hang on to everything that is dangerous because it's kept us safe for millennia. Oh, look, that looks like the outline of a saber-toothed tiger. I don't want to go over there. And so that keeps us safe. So our brain is constantly up periscope looking for danger, looking for danger, looking for danger, right? Problem of it is that it gets stuck in up periscope and we don't let things go. Now, that is not to say that you suddenly don't stop looking for dangerous things. It's just that you recognize when it's time to let it go. Does that make sense? So our brains have a really hard time of letting go. It's almost like a pit bull grabbed onto something and they're not going to let go. So the way to start training your brain to do that is to write it onto a piece of paper. This is why I tell you guys to do this. Write it onto a piece of paper and then burn it. It does two things for the brain. The brain, the amygdala, because remember, the amygdala is stupid. Cannot tell the difference between present time, something in the past that was threatening, something in the future, thinking about it, daydreaming about it, an emotional threat. It's all the same to the amygdala. So if you get it out of your head and you get it onto paper, the amygdala goes, oh, we've done something with this. That's great. I can let it go now. I mean, like I said, the amygdala is just not the brightest thing on the face of the planet. So, and then you burn it. Why? Because that is literally the physical act of letting it go, sending it off with the smoke. Let the smoke go, carry the words to wherever it needs to go. So that's how you start practicing letting go. There are some great books by Pema Chodron about the nothing is permanent, impermanence of life and how to let go. So there's some great stuff, Buddhist books on letting go by Pema Chodron, Dalai Lama, good books by him too. So you just learn that life is not permanent. Nothing in life is permanent. The good times don't last, the bad times don't last. And that we can't control anything except our thoughts. We really can't. I mean, think about it. We're on a planet, a rock, hurtling through the vacuum of space, circling a huge, ginormous hydrogen ball of fire. And you think you're in control of anything? Woo! Yeah, no, we're not. We are in control of our thoughts. And that's it. We can't control other people. We can't control the future. We can't control politics. Well, to a certain extent we can, but we can't. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to learn to let things go. It's like, what can you control? It's the Buddhist worry chart. Is there a problem? Well, right now, hell yeah, there is. Can I do anything about it? Well, limit it. You know, I can wash my hands. I can take care of myself. I can, only go out once every other week, and go grocery shopping. I can, do this. I can do that. Very limited what we can do. And I can control my thoughts. I can stop watching things that are going to drive me crazy and rev me up. I can start meditating. I can do yoga. I can exercise. I can eat healthy. I can drink enough water. I can, there's things we can do. So you figure out what you can and cannot control. And then the things that you cannot control, write them down, burn them, let them go. Teach your brain to let stuff go. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. My girlfriend has borderline personality disorder. How do we get through when she gets triggered without me giving into her irrational thoughts? Okay. So there's a great book called Stop Walking on Eggshells by Randy Krieger. Great book. And it's basically how to help someone you love with borderline. So borderline, what it is that they rev up, and they want everybody else around them to be as revved up as they are because it validates what they're feeling. So what you want to do is the more revved up she gets, you stay absolutely rock solid calm. You gray rock, basically. You validate, but you don't go down the drain with her. You don't rev up with her or circle the drain with her. So I would strongly suggest getting Stop Walking on Eggshells by Randy Krieger and start reading it. That is a great book, and it's going to give you tips for how to react or respond when someone you love with borderline is just going out of control. And that's typical for borderline. I would also suggest getting the DBT workbook and encouraging her to work the DBT workbook with you. So mindfulness, she's going to need to learn mindfulness. You are going to need to learn gray rock and how to stay calm and grounded while she's spinning out. And, she'll accuse you of all sorts of things. She'll accuse you of not being supportive. She'll accuse you of, abandoning her, this, that, and the other thing. And you just stay calm. You just stay calm. And it's going to drive her crazy at first because she's not used to it. Remember, borderline is based in trauma. Trauma is usually a chaotic childhood, chaotic. And so they're used to chaos. And so when you don't do that, it's going to freak her out at first, but eventually she's going to see, wow, this is so much better than the chaos. So Yeah, DBT workbook. It's available on Amazon. Stop Walking on Eggshells, both the book and the workbook by Randy Krieger. Those are going to help you gray rock like a boss. Stay calm, stay grounded. Validate her. You just validate her, but you do not engage in the same revved up or circling the drain. So I hope that helps. Is there any training available that teaches us how to self-soothe? So self-soothing is really nothing more than what you would say to a very small child. You are reparenting yourself. I'm safe. I'm okay. Everything's fine. I've got this. It's going to be all right. You know, that's self-soothing. And it's not really taught to us because if we were raised in chaos, they didn't know how to self-soothe. They created chaos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why we don't know how to self-soothe. So there are some really beautiful meditation videos on YouTube, and there's some self-soothing meditation videos on YouTube. So I would look to YouTube and see what you can find. The other thing of it is that how do you want to be soothed? What do you need to hear? So when I need to self-soothe, what I like to do is I like to rub myself or hold myself, you know, with a hug. It's okay. Everything's fine. You're going to be all right. Everything's good. You don't need to freak out. It's all good, baby doll. It's all okay. You know, that's what I need to hear. So you find whatever comforts you and then do that. So that's self-soothing. You know, do it however you feel best. And sometimes you can do a self-soothing routine or a self-soothing meditation at night before you go to sleep. Sometimes you can do it in the morning when you're waking up. You know, hey, it's going to be a good day. It's all right for me to be happy. I'm safe. I'm okay. Everything's fine. Do you see where I'm going with that? So, yeah. Okay. We have a family, we have a culture where family ties are very important. In this case, should family ties be cut or maintain a polite bond respecting the role that our parents play? I cannot answer that for you. If the family is abusive, you absolutely want to cut ties. I know that the culture might not understand that. So you've got to do what's safest for you, seriously. And when you decide to go no contact, there are varying levels of no contact. It's not always automatically, you know, oh my God, I'm cutting them off. There's no, you know, no contact, no contact. You can do varying levels of no contact. You can do very, very low contact. You can do no contact. You can do gray rock every single time you see them. So it depends on what's going to be safe for you. If the culture is demanding that, you know, family is number one, even though they're the ones that are harming you, you may want to go low contact, or you may want to be able to gray rock. So you can have contact with them, but make sure you've got boundaries like a boss, okay? And in cultures where, you know, family is everything, going no contact might be, might create a lot of danger for you in that flying monkeys, right? So if you need to, just do low contact. Play your cards close to your chest. You do not need to share everything with somebody who's an abuser, absolutely. So be very careful about that. But do what makes you comfortable and do what you can work with. Does DBT help? Yes, it helps for borderline personality disorder. Does it help for narcissism? Nothing helps for narcissism. Nothing helps for narcissism. And it also can help for the targets of abuse. Why? Mindfulness. It's beautiful for mindfulness, being mindful. What are you thinking? Why are you thinking? What is going on? What's driving the thought, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And choosing rather than reacting. So yeah, DBT is great. I love DBT. I think it's wonderful and I recommend it. Yeah, DBT, CBT, EFT, or EMDR. So DBT is dialectic behavioral therapy. And it really does help with personality disorders. It helps with other personality disorders like OCD, avoidant, borderline. Does not help really. I mean, it can help to a certain extent with narcissism, but if they don't have the empathy cog there and it's just traits of, if it's just traits of, yes. If it's malignant, no. If there's no empathy cog there, no. It's not going to help because they're just going to go right back to their same behavior. So DBT, EFT, emotional freedom therapy, which is the tapping, EMDR, eye movement. I never get this right. Eye movement, EMDR, desensitization reprogramming. So it helps, you experience whatever you went through without re-traumatizing yourself. So yeah, all of those are really good. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, yeah, they're all really good. But I do love DBT. I think DBT is great. Okay, do abusers / malignant people pretend to have joie de vivre and be engaged and happy like the healthy people you describe? They can't maintain it. So what abusers and malignant narcissists do, what people who are malignant do, is their Facebook life or their Twitter life is way different. Their Instagram life, their Snapchat life, whatever, is way different than reality. So they'll present the, perfect, happy couple. This is why when domestic violence cases happen, oftentimes the family and friends are shocked because they'll be like, but they looked so happy on Facebook. Yeah, it's like they will pretend to have the joie de vivre, but they can't maintain it. They inevitably sabotage it. It's the weirdest thing. If you watch any abuser, they have self-sabotaging behavior. They call out what they are going to do. They basically tell you what they are going to do because they are so arrogant, they can't imagine that people are onto them. So, and they will sabotage good times, they'll try to make it somebody else's fault, etc. So they'll maintain that for a small amount of time, but it's not going to be consistent. They're not going to be joie de vivre. How do I explain this? Joie de vivre is organic. It's like a kid. If you've ever watched children when they play in the like the fountains, the water fountains that that shoot up the water, and they're just giggling and they're laughing, that's joie de vivre. That's the joy of life. They're just happy for no other reason than there's water and they're happy, right? Narcissists don't really do that. And when they're trying to do it, it's fake. I don't know how to explain. It's like it doesn't reach their eyes. It's like they're not really feeling it. They're just trying to pretend that everything's great and everything's fine and they're engaged and this, that, and the other thing. Or they'll be happy when they're doing something they want to do, but they very rarely ever engage in what anybody else wants to do. So something to watch for. So joie de vivre it's like this organic happiness just from, it's like I saw this other picture. This was so cool. It was a dog and the dog was up on its hind legs and it was sniffing a rose. And I was like, that is the coolest picture. So it's an organic happiness just for happiness sake, not because they're trying to impress somebody, not because somebody's around, just because they're happy, dance like nobody's looking. That's joie de vivre. Whereas narcissists are constantly like, I'm dancing. Is anybody looking? That kind of thing. So hope that answered the question. Okay, sometimes I feel, and I'm going to have to stop here pretty soon because I got a client coming up. Sometimes I feel like I don't love anything anymore. It comes and goes. Why is this? Side note, broken up with the narc ex-abuser a couple of years ago. So when we leave an abusive relationship, we lose ourselves massively, massively, massively lose ourselves. And we don't trust, because really we haven't had much reason to trust. So it's really important to get back into a relationship with yourself, learn to trust yourself, and learn to love yourself, and get back to the things you used to enjoy doing. One of the things that the narcissist loves to do is take that away from us. So let's say that you love to laugh, right? You love to laugh, and you used to laugh a lot in the beginning of the relationship, and then the mask slipped, and then the abuser started the devalue and the discard. Well, suddenly things are not funny anymore. You don't love laughing anymore. You don't enjoy that. What? No. The real you is the one who loves to laugh. Okay? Get back to that. So get back to the things you used to love. And I'm going to talk more about that on Sunday's program because I want to go more into the existential, I've lost myself. How do I find myself? So last week I did the Who Am I? Meeting yourself sometimes for the first time. And this time we're going to talk more about that. It's like, what did you used to love to do? So I want to talk more about how to get back to that and how to find the joie de vivre, how to find the joy, how to find the love, how to find trust, that kind of thing. So I want to talk more about that on Sunday. And unfortunately, I got a client, so I'm going to have to stop this video. Okay, guys, so remember, the hoovers are going fast and furious with the narcissists. Don't fall for them. Don't fall for them. If you are no contact with somebody and somebody calls up and says, oh my gosh, they're dying, you need to call them, blah, 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 you do what's going to support you, not what's going to support them. You do what's going to support you. Don't think this is going to be a miracle. Don't think they're going to have some sort of deathbed, oh my God, I made a mistake, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Or even if they do, it's not going to last. As soon as they're out of the woods and they're okay, they're going to go right back to their old behavior. So just go in eyes wide open. Please do take very good care of yourselves. I'm not going to be seeing any clients in person until probably August. Arizona is opening up. I think that's a mistake. So please continue to wear your mask. Please wash your hands like crazy. Don't do any big gatherings of groups. Be safe, be careful, follow the guidelines, follow the WHO guidelines of social distancing, washing hands, mask wearing, etc. And please take good care of yourselves. I don't want to lose anybody to this. I've already had 3 clients lose loved ones to this. So anybody who's saying this is bullshit and it's not real, no, it's real. So be careful, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distancing, be safe, be careful, take good care of yourselves. This Sunday, I will be continuing to talk about the existential question of who am I and how to get back to that. All right, guys, have a great couple of days, and I will talk to you on Sunday. Bye.